Ladies and gentlemen, every single day there's an escalation in tension between China and Taiwan. Very few people are talking about this on YouTube. And I think it's important for everybody to realize that President Biden's response, the evacuation, the response to withdrawing Americans and Afghans from Afghanistan, how he completely botched and disregarded a peace deal that would have gotten us out May 1st. Had he simply begun evacuating Americans, Afghans, our allies, there's like 130 rescue animals that he just left behind. There's an interpreter and the woman that is staying behind with them. They wouldn't allow this woman, an amazing woman, on a plane because she was holding a disabled puppy. Okay? That you can look that up. Okay? And if it was Trump, I mean, oh my God, Trump left a disabled puppy and a heroic woman behind. And so that they would be apoplectic. And there's another example of an interpreter who saved Biden's life in 2008, along with like Kerry and another senator. He's still there. And then Psaki today said, oh, yeah, well, we don't know how he's going to get out, but he's definitely going to get out. So this was a haphazard, rushed, completely irresponsible evacuation. They waited until the last second, and then they said, well, we've broken records on how many people can leave within a 2-week time span. It's like, yeah, that's the problem. You waited until the very last moment, and then you utilized, we'll call them the T-ban, as security around the perimeter of the airport. And you gave them lists of people's names. So it's unbelievable, the incompetence. And then you have the intelligence community saying, we told Biden. And then Biden saying, oh, they didn't tell me that the Afghan government would fall. So this administration is completely inept. You could say whatever you like about President Trump. We had record low unemployment. These are facts. If you want to say that President Obama is the one who gifted Trump this record low unemployment, that's not true, but we still had record low unemployment throughout most of Trump's tenure. You can't blame Trump for Democrats gleefully tanking their state economies to keep people safe, which didn't happen. Now you're facing an eviction crisis. But we had record low unemployment. We had the Abraham Accords. We had the Doha Agreement, which is exactly why I voted for President Trump, to bring Americans home from a 20-year endless war, because he single-handedly reversed U.S. foreign policy, and it's Biden who, to spite him, didn't abide by the May 1st timeline. We had other international. He was the first president to step foot in North Korea. He got things done. Countries' adversaries respected Trump. China does not respect Biden. Nobody does. Getting back to China and Taiwan, the difference between Trump and Biden is that we had a leader with President Trump. You might not have liked him, but we had a leader. We had somebody that had such leadership skills there needed to be a resistance within this country. Remember the resistance? The Democratic resistance, because they were so petrified of Trump. The media hysteria over Trump overshadowed all of his accomplishments, okay? Allocating more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever. We can go on and making the funding permanent. We can go on forever. But with China right now, they're escalating military drills. They're engaging in these assault drills and preparing either for an invasion or to continue to intimidate Taiwan. And Newsweek the other day, Taiwan, Japan urged to stand together as China threat prompts security talks. Japan sees what's going on. If they get Taiwan, they're closer to the Philippines, they're closer to South Korea, they're closer to Japan, and they have a better chance of trying to overrun or invade islands that belong to these countries, because there are territorial disputes within the South Pacific. So you have a whole bunch of security concerns. Everyone around the world is worried about this except Biden. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. There's a lot of things that I'm talking about that aren't really addressed, but this is an important issue. Hit subscribe, tell your friends. I'll have a live stream tonight at around 6:30 p.m. Pacific. So if you want to support my voice, my Patreon is below. If you want to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications, go to hagoodman.com. You can see my debates there as well. And if you want to give a super thanks for this segment, go ahead. It's right next to the like and the share buttons. But you have a situation where every single day there's an escalation in tensions. So, South China Morning Post, Taiwan plans new defense agency to prepare reservists to step up in the case of war. Another article, Taiwan air raid drill and war games to test alertness if they're invaded. These are just it's like every single day you have the issue of a potential invasion. There's an NBC News article that, in July that talks about the risk, the chances increase exponentially every day of a confrontation or an invasion. So here, where is that article? There's a whole bunch of NBC News articles, but nobody's talking about this, and Biden's administration is going to hear the threat of China invading Taiwan is growing every day, NBC News. So, and like I said, there was a Taiwan government report just yesterday talking about different scenarios. This is all over now, but nobody is focused on this in the United States of America because you have to look at Biden's phone call with Ashraf Ghani to understand what's going on. They're focused on perception. They don't want if they don't talk about something, it's like an ostrich just like putting his head in the sand. They just put their hands over their ears. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear about it, so it's not happening. But this is a huge issue. And if, God forbid, China invades Taiwan or blockades Taiwan, okay, because they cannot possibly stop a military invasion. They can't possibly do anything to defend themselves militarily, okay? There's no way that they can, because the Chinese Navy and military is just exponentially greater and more powerful than Taiwan's. So they can't really defend themselves if China decides. And the escalation is ramping up to where there could be, a great deal of espionage within Taiwan from operatives working on behalf of Beijing, and they could then say, okay, you know what, we're going to become independent, or, politicians out of nowhere could say we're going to become independent. That could be the pretext to invade or blockade the island. There's a lot of things that could take place. They could invade in the same way that Putin did with Crimea. So there's a whole bunch of scenarios that you can rest assured Biden will then say, gosh, we didn't know, or we did know, but we couldn't do anything about it. So it's always going to be an excuse, but we're completely clueless as a country now. We have no leadership at all. Trump was a leader. You can disagree with him, but he was a leader, okay? And he did good things. He did a lot of good things, okay? He was a much better leader and president than Biden is. Because we have no clue, if Mashed Potato Brains is running this country, we have no clue if he's running the country or perhaps other people around him, whether it's Blinken or Klain or Psaki or everyone around the polished, highly educated people who were completely blindsided. They should have simply withdrew Americans on had everything done by May 1st. What you told China and the whole world and every adversary is that we're incompetent, we don't have leadership, and that we won't protect you at the end of the day. I'm not a fan of endless military interventions at all. I vote against the Lincoln Project, who, by the way, votes alongside Bernie Sanders. So that's the state of the far left in our country, or Democrats in our country. Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld people vote with AOC. So that should tell you what the Democratic Party is about. But because he was so inept in the evacuation, the whole world saw that, okay, the United States is not being led by somebody who's capable. If China was ever going to invade Taiwan, with all these tensions escalating, it's probably going to be right now. I keep talking about this. This could lead to a nuclear war or confrontation. To make up for his lack of understanding or preparedness, he could then usher in a nuclear confrontation. Who knows? Who knows? Because it could be a stalemate like the Cuban Missile Crisis. But we don't have JFK. We'll have Biden. Okay, huge drop-off in intellect and wisdom and leadership. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. People aren't talking about this, ladies and gentlemen, but it's happening before our very eyes. Hit subscribe.